The Democrats are not the only ones here in Charlotte. Many Republicans are here, too. How are they making sure their message isn't drowned out by the convention crowds? Republican Senator John Barrasso joins us. Nice to see you, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Mike Commander just mentioned that the job numbers come out on Friday, and it feels a little bit like a casino in the terms that, you know, if they're good, that certainly helps the President Obama in his convention, as he comes out of his convention. If they're bad, it certainly puts a damper on this convention.
Well, I believe there's still going to be over 8% unemployment, Greta. It's been that way for the last 43 months under this president. Remember, he promised if you passed his so-called stimulus bill that unemployment rate would never go above 8%. It's been over 8% all of that time. So, you know,
well, it's probably going to be over 8% because it's 8.3, and we don't expect a three-point jump. But if it, let's say it comes down to 8.2 or 8.1, I mean, that's a good trend number that it puts a little wind behind his back.
I don't think any president's ever been reelected with numbers that badly. You know, in the hall tonight, former President Clinton yelled to the crowd, "Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago?" And they all yelled yes. I think that shows that the delegates here in the hall are really out of touch with what's happening across the country. Gas prices at an all-time high for Labor Day weekend in the history of the country this past weekend, and that's why I'm here. I've been actually debating energy policy and health care policy. I was invited to a forum to debate former Governor and DNC Chairman Howard Dean, and the difference between a Mitt Romney energy policy focused on American energy and energy security versus this Obama policy with its regulations are costing us jobs, prices continue to go up, and they're wasting taxpayer dollars on things like Solyndra.
Well, I think the viewers may remember you are a doctor, and so I need to ask you the health care question. Listening to President Clinton tonight, he talked about the health care, and listening to President Clinton seemed certainly that he thinks it's a great program.
Well, I believe that he does think it's a great program, and you know, for the average patient around the country, they realize that they're not going to get what they wanted, which was the care they need from a doctor that they choose at a lower cost. This is a health care law that is bad for patients. It's bad for providers, the nurses and the doctors who take care of them, and it's terrible for taxpayers.
If you are healthy, so you're not going to a doctor, so you're not realizing whether it's something good or something bad, you know, you're sort of sitting back listening to the two parties, you know, say very different things about the same health care program.
Well, all you need to do is talk to a senior citizen and say, is it easier or harder to get to see a doctor under the health care law with the changes, the $700 billion that this president has taken out of the Medicare program, not to strengthen Medicare for our seniors, but to start a whole new government program for other people.
What he said is that Representative Ryan was doing the same thing in his program, number one, and number two, he said that that money was being taken from insurance companies.
What they're going to do is lower reimbursement to hospitals and to doctors across the board, which is going to make it harder under the Obama plan, make it harder for seniors to get to see a doctor. Meaning
the doctors won't want to stay in the business, or they're not going to do as many Medicare patients?
Well, the Medicare is one of the articles from the Associated Press this weekend showed is going to be the new Medicaid because reimbursement is going to be so low. What the Ryan plan does is actually reinvest that money to strengthen Medicare. But, you know, President Clinton tonight continued to use the word arithmetic. You know, he should have focused on the fact that President Obama hasn't had the Senate pass a budget in 3 years. In the health care law, there's accounting tricks and budget gimmicks and double counting, double spending of money. So I'd like to get back to fundamental basic arithmetic. It'd be better for the country.
Senator, thank you. Nice to see you, sir.
Thanks for having me.